Hey guys, and welcome to Nate's Reviews Shadow the Hedgehog. Now before I start this thing, let me just point out that this game is called Shadow the Hedgehog, not Sonic the Hedgehog. Now let's get started. Shadow the Hedgehog can, in a sense, be called the sequel to Sonic Heroes. It uses the same game engine and was released over a year after Heroes. The game has a very dark atmosphere about it. It is Shadow's game after all. Anyways, the game starts off with Shadow looking over a city. It's called Whatsopolis, I believe, when the Black Arms or Black Aliens, whatever term you prefer, invade the city. Shadow turns to walk away, then Black Doom comes from nowhere and tells him that it's time, as if Shadow can really remember anything. Oh yeah, he has amnesia. So Shadow must set out to get all the Chaos Emeralds to get his memories back. Why they are the key to unlocking his memories, I don't know, but that's what he needs. The gameplay consists of the same platforming elements as seen in previous Sonic games before it. However, there is a twist of sorts. Each stage you play through gives you 3 different missions to choose from, which are labeled as Dark, Hero, and Normal missions. There are some levels that only give either Dark or Hero missions, but those are usually later on in the game when you become greatly evil, good, or neutral. The missions you complete directly affect which levels, cutscenes, and endings you get to see, which definitely gives you a nice sense of replayability since, as far as I know, there are at least 300 different possible combinations of stages, although the difference between them all gets fairly minuscule as you find more combinations. Shadow can utilize his enemies' weapons to his advantage, whether they be Eggman's robots, gun soldiers, or the black aliens. This gives you a nice way of mixing up how you go about defeating various enemies. Also, you can occasionally board vehicles like a motorcycle, truck, and for some reason one of the flying black aliens, which is actually kind of fun. There's some secret weapons that you can unlock by beating the game via the different endings, one of which is a laser cannon that locks onto an enemy and shoots from the sky down, which is amazing. The boss battles aren't very memorable and are usually stupidly easy. If anything, you may get worked over by the camera jittering around or a sudden loss of ability to control where Shadow is going. The partner characters like Sonic, Tails, SBO, Vector,
Find the computer room!
where was I? Oh yeah. The partner characters will accompany you during your playthrough. They can vary between Black Doom or any of Sonic's friends, and even Eggman, albeit through a small floating television screen, but Eggman nonetheless. At the top left and right of the screen, you have 2 bars which fill up with each gun soldier, robot, or black alien you kill. You get blue for killing aliens, and red for killing gun soldiers or Eggman's robots. When the red bar fills up, you can unleash a Chaos Blast, which basically kills everything around you and can be used over and over until the bar is empty, of course. If you fill up the blue bar, you can use Chaos Control, although it doesn't stop time unless you're in a boss battle, which is strange since that's what it's known for. Anyways, in a usual level, it acts as a speed up or a super boost of sorts, which will speed you all the way to the goal, unless of course the bar runs out. If you aren't careful though, you can occasionally end up completing the wrong mission at times. Not too big a deal, but it is an issue. The game does have a 2-player mode, but in all honesty, it seems very slapped on and isn't really worth your time. Something cool though is that during certain missions in the game you can control the partner characters via a second controller, which I feel is a lot more fun than the multiplayer and is a neat little trick. You can control Sonic, SBO, Vector, Rouge, Omega, Tails, Amy, Maria, and Knuckles, which leaves Charmy as the only character you cannot control with the second controller. For the time, the graphics actually look pretty good, but having been released so far after Sonic Heroes, I can see why it was naturally expected to have some changes to the graphics engine. It does have a few changes, but nothing exasperatingly noticeable. And don't get me started on the CG cutscenes. Sega never seems to disappoint with those. They stand up very well even to this day. The music in this game for me is actually pretty cool, but I suppose it can be too gritty for some people. This was intended for a much more mature audience. Even then, Sega sticks to the techno that we know they love, and I know I love it just as much. The small blurbs of profanity aren't really that bad, the words damn and hell being the only adult words, but seriously, these are things most kids have heard before they even turn 3. There's a reason Sega got away with an E10 rating after all. All in all, this game really isn't all that bad. I will admit that there are certain quirks it has that aren't very satisfying, and having a partner character yell at you when you're trying to accomplish a mission can be annoying to some. For myself, however, I find it funny to go against everything they tell you. The common issue is that people call it a Sonic game, which it isn't. Just read the title of the game. It was never supposed to be a game starring Sonic. It's about Shadow and his past, and Sega wanted to differentiate him from Sonic and give him his own gameplay. The idea was literally to not be a Sonic game, but a Shadow game. People very often forget that fact. I'm going to give this game a beautiful 8 out of 10. I think despite some hiccups that bound around in the game and a lackluster multiplayer mode, this is nowhere near as bad as people make it out to be, and I'll boldly say that this is a decent game, where popular belief is just so far from the truth. This has been Nate's Reviews, Shadow the Hedgehog.
Their
See you
oppression
guys next
cannot
time.
go unopposed. Perfect.
Mr. Yuji Naka is... Don't let him get away!